I'm available 24/7 to help solve issues. Call me 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I don't care.
Elon Musk has bought Twitter. Nobody imagined that this would happen, but apparently Elon has a habit of surprising the world. Now he is the proud owner of Twitter, SpaceX, and Tesla, some of the most influential companies in the world. So you all must have heard the news. Elon Musk is the new owner of Twitter. He bought it for a whopping amount of $44 billion. That's a lot of money. First, the news came that Elon has joined the board members of Twitter by buying some shares in its stock. But a few days later, he announced that he is buying it. The world was amazed, but there were a lot of unanswered questions too. The most important one was, why Twitter? We all know Elon is into the tech field. He wants to go to Mars, send people to the moon, and even colonize Mars. He has such big ambitions. But why does he want to buy a social media platform? Well, he believes that social media platforms play a critical role. He is a firm believer in free expression. Therefore, he purchased Twitter to address the problem. He aspires to uphold democracy and freedom of expression. Twitter is a massive deal, guys. When it first came out, few people were aware of it, and it was largely used by celebrities. But now it has a much wider audience. People also utilize it to establish their brand. On this platform, journalists, celebrities, politicians, and ordinary people exchange their opinions. It's a method of reaching out to the general audience. Some people may even use it to spread hatred. This is what Elon wishes to emphasize. Is this simple? No. It's still early for Elon to take ownership, so we'll have to wait and see what he has planned. However, there has been a lot of backlash against this buyout. The tax system is the first thing that financial opponents challenge. If you look at the tax code, according to the rules and the tax structure, Elon Musk doesn't have this much money to acquire Twitter, does he? Is he dodging taxes as a result of this? Well, let's see what happens. Finance skeptics claim that, despite having a lot of money, Elon Musk does not have enough to buy Twitter. They claim that if you look at a more detailed definition of his income and see which parts are taxed and which aren't, you can see how the guy can acquire Twitter. His net worth is estimated to be $257 billion. A large portion of his fortune is invested in Tesla and SpaceX stock, which can grow tax-free eternally. The wealthy employ this method. They accumulate high-value equities and then borrow these assets to obtain cash without having to sell them and pay taxes. For this transaction, Elon has taken out a loan against some of his Tesla shares. He could sell Tesla or other stocks, but that would result in a large tax burden. He'll likely be able to pay some of it by borrowing against his SpaceX stakes, as well as using IRS laws to get tax-free funds. See, when we borrow, we don't have to pay taxes. So if someone is borrowing money, then they are tax-free, and this is what billionaires do. This is why the phrase "tax the rich" is so popular. People claim the wealthy find creative methods to avoid paying taxes. But what about the rest of us? They are concerned that it does not bode well for the general population, since the world's wealthiest man now has even more authority. It's also not a new topic. The idea of taxing the wealthy has been around for a while, but Musk's acquisition of Twitter has given it a whole new depth. People are enraged because these millionaires have their own set of standards and do not follow the rules that apply to everyone else. They amass power for their benefit. As a result, stricter tax policies for the ultra-wealthy are required. It's a little frustrating that the average population pays taxes while billionaires enjoy tax-free status. However, there is another side to the story. He creates jobs, aids in development, and attracts capital. Elon has also stated that he will turn Twitter into a private company rather than a public one. Elon Musk liquidated more than $16 billion last year, in case you didn't know. He also gave one or more charities $5.7 billion in Tesla stock. He has not, however, revealed to which organizations he donated his money. He is nonetheless one of the most prominent benefactors. From a tax standpoint, donating shares directly to a cause that a taxpayer supports is a wise decision. It's then simple to sell Tesla stock and donate the proceeds. When a person donates shares, their taxes are reduced. If you recall, Elon once told the United Nations that he would be happy to donate $6 billion if they could show him how to cure world hunger. The UN responded to him, but their communications resulted in nothing. And it's this that his detractors are railing against. They argue that if $6 billion can address world hunger, imagine what $40 billion could do. You can imagine how it could be put to good use around the world. Arguments are made that there is one individual who has so much money that he can do whatever with it. Yet there are families across the country that must choose whether or not to eat today. And according to figures from 2014 to 2018, the general public paid tax at a rate of 13%, while Elon paid it at a rate of 3.2%. As a result, there is substantial income and tax inequality. The wealthy earn more and pay less, while ordinary people earn less and pay more. That is why a wealth tax is being proposed. Who is to blame, though? It's all about the tax system. Income is taxed by the federal government, but wealth is not. It's not a tough concept to grasp. It's just that they have so much money, individuals like Elon Musk, that they can achieve things that you and I would never be able to do. And as we already stated before, they deal in stocks. As a result, they receive the majority of their pay in the form of company shares rather than salary. Elon once stated that he does not accept any cash compensation or bonus. That means he only has stock, and selling shares is the only method for him to pay taxes directly. Furthermore, most of these types of equities are largely tax-free until sold, and the wealthy rarely sell their holdings unless they are forced to. They frequently pass them down to their children, and the cycle goes on and on. Rather than selling their stock, the ultra-wealthy can borrow against their assets. They effectively utilize them as a form of collateral for loans. And of course, which bank will not give them loans? But there are always two sides to the coin, so let's have a look at the other side. People say billionaires save tax. They misuse the system for their profits. But who made the system? If there's a problem in the system, shouldn't that be changed? Elon Musk buying Twitter for such a huge amount has also made people question whether this money could be used for a better purpose. But there are also people saying that it's his money and he can do whatever he likes to do with it. Today, we are talking about free speech and making Twitter a great platform for democracy, so why shouldn't rich people have every right to spend their money the way they want? Different people have different opinions. What's your take on this? Also, as the demand for tax on the rich is growing, some critics say that it's wrong. Billionaires also work hard. Not every one of them has inherited their wealth. Some of them are self-made too, so it should not be right to ask them to pay more. So, if Elon has spent billions of dollars, will it be profitable? Even though he is the world's richest individual, he does not want to lose money. But this is fantastic news for him because since Elon became the owner of Twitter, the number of users has increased dramatically. Twitter made $513 million in the first quarter of this year, and it's just going to get bigger. As a result, Twitter will make a substantial profit. Elon made it clear that he is not investing this much money to become wealthy. Rather, he is purchasing Twitter because he believes in free speech. And while it's never easy to know what Musk truly feels, it's difficult not to take him at his word in this situation because the deal makes no economic sense. Elon may not make a reasonable profit if he follows through on his objective of permitting free expression for all. Elon also stated that he will eliminate paid advertising, which is one of Twitter's most lucrative revenue streams. So, how are you going to acquire that money? Twitter's ability to milk current customers for money is limited. Another argument is that as the number of users grows, so will the number of users in the future, and that this increase will aid in the revenue. But this is all speculation. There is no evidence to imply that this is the case. In other words, there is a fundamental conflict between Musk's belief that individuals should be able to say whatever they want and what Twitter needs to operate as a platform. So, how Elon handles this scenario is entirely up to him. And given Elon's track record, he'll no doubt be able to pull this off as well. He's also begun to make some adjustments to Twitter. First and foremost, he wants to make Twitter's algorithm open source, which would let anybody view the platform's code, and this would be fascinating to see. Furthermore, bots and phony accounts abound on social media networks. He'd want to take care of this as well. He previously stated that he would ban spam bots on Twitter. If he can do that, this will be the nicest thing that has ever happened to him. After all, these bots and spam comments have affected all of us. Musk will also work on providing the much-desired edit tool to Twitter, which will allow users to make changes to their tweets after they have been published. Musk has a one-of-a-kind approach to business. He polled his followers on Twitter to see if they wanted an edit button. Twitter, of course, voted in favor, so let's wait and see what happens. Will he be able to accomplish this? Elon buying Twitter has got all kinds of responses, some positive and some negative, but only time will tell how all of this will pan out.